14 Low Altitude Escape. Author, Wild Wolverine. Return to Contents. Bookmark. Recommend book. Recommended reading, Cosmic Professional Players, Dologo Continent v Rebirth. Tang San, King of All Phases, Stargate, First Immortal of Kendo, Swordsman in the Snow, Sword Lai, One Sword Sovereign, Shepherd Dragon Master, Lin Yuan Xing. Bikook. www.xbichuge.so, the fastest update of Thunder counterattack. Tell me the location of the other enemy plane. I didn't see the other one. The early warning aircraft said, the Erie I system sometimes has a temporary blind spot for reconnaissance due to the automatic route adjustment. When you need her, she is very good. Maybe taking a slow turn. Of course, another possibility that she couldn't see was that the enemy was hiding behind the mountain. Colonel, check under the plane. Hassan's voice. Sammy immediately did a tumbling. He saw a missile coming silently towards him. The missile was still far away. The colonel immediately pushed the stick down almost towards the missile. He knew these MiGs well. The R-60 missile that 21 often carries will make its seeker unable to see the target. The airspeed indicator slowly starts to rotate forward, but the speed of the aircraft is only 600 km per hour, which is a troublesome problem, and the only way to increase the dive angle is, with the help of gravity, adding AG to the final evasive turn. The colonel decisively released several groups of tracers and chaff at the last moment, and turned to one side to avoid him. The missile missed him and flew into the air blankly. He turned back to look for the enemy in the dark, and saw a MiG-21 flying towards him below. The colonel's last PL-5 missile did not have a strong head-on attack capability. The missile seeker faced this. The MiG-21, within a distance of more than 1 kilometer, has never been able to capture any heat source. Now the colonel is in a dangerous situation of being flanked. Even if he dodges this round, he will immediately fall into the second round of circling. Moreover, he is still flanked by front and rear. The low-altitude turning competition is one of the MiG-21's slight flight strengths. At that time, this Thunderbolt will not have enough speed and enough altitude. Falcon 1, I need you to show up as soon as possible. When the colonel passed directly in front of the MiG-21 below, the opponent fired a series of cannons, but this heroic MiG was difficult to control under the condition of insufficient thrust. The nose was stable, and the flying shells did not hurt the colonel in the slightest. The MiG swept over the colonel's canopy, and the colonel looked back and saw that the MiG-21 did not turn on the afterburner, but took the risk of doing a low-altitude somersault, which is a risk for an aircraft like the MiG-21 that has poor low-speed performance. Actions close to the roulette wheel are likely to cause the engine to stall or stall. Now, two MiG-21s appeared at his 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock positions at the same time. Although one of them was slower, it also severely limited the colonel's evasion. He turned sharply in any direction and would be caught by them. One's nose is aimed. The big deal is ejected. I hope these Indian pilots won't shoot the parachute. The colonel thought as he made the last circle. He could clearly see the dirt road on the ground, only 200 meters from the hillside. Why the damn Hassan didn't show up? A MiG-21 that was in hot pursuit suddenly exploded in the air and broke into two pieces, probably hit by an AIM-120C. Colonel Sammy saw another missile flying towards another MiG-21, but it missed. The last MiG-21 did not dare to continue fighting, and quickly dived and accelerated, and fled to the east. The sky was already bright. In this round of air battles, the Pakistan Air Force once again had a considerable advantage. The 3-1 victory was enough to make the Chief of Staff of the Indian Air Force nauseated for a while. Praise the true God Allah, the colonel said with sincere gratitude. Captain Black Spider, it looks like you've got 5. You deserve congratulations. Where's the nearest airport? Sammy asked, ignoring Hassan's false greeting. He thought, since then he has I owe Hassan a big favor. I'm afraid it's Benazir Bhutto International Airport. However, there's a tanker to the south. Oh, by the way, Your small plane may not be able to refuel in the air. Colonel Sammy pressed the return button on the multifunction display. Set the navigation direction to the Benazir Bhutto International Airport in the southwest, which is the closest airport to him. Captain Falcon, thank you very much for not wasting time before firing. Colonel, Number 5 Squadron never wastes time. Next time you come across an Indian plane that you can't get rid of, I will save you. Yes. Hassan, I still know about you and your squadron. Thank you for your compliment, you are the pride of the Air Force. A lone MiG-21 fighter jet was facing the dazzling morning sun, flying towards we flew to Sarsi Air Force Base. Before dawn, a total of 4 planes took off from there, and now only the captain, Captain Midas, was left to return home. The 3 brothers were shot down over and over again in the captain's mind, and he knew there was only one enemy plane there, but he knocked his squad down to pieces. It's an unbearable fact, built on a bunch of outdated technology, old combat aircraft, radar warning gear that doesn't work, and that damn 181 Squadron AWACS that never showed up on time, all cost him 3 teammates in minutes. Middies heard other pilots shouting after being hit on the radio, but didn't see any of his comrades skydiving. There's probably something wrong with the old ejection seats, but there's never going to be an answer. Captain Dagger, please report the battle. No other aircraft are visible on ground radar. Team Dagger lost 3 planes in the air battle, Captain Middies replied. The ground podium did not ask any further questions. Why didn't the Trident formation take cover? The captain demanded. It's not clear, the Trident team just landed and they shot down an F-16 fighter. The captain finally couldn't help sobbing. For a year, all members of the squadron had been seriously discussing a rumor that the 45th Dagger Squadron was going to dressed in advanced Rafale fighter jets. Some pilots have gone to Bangalore to experience the simulator of this advanced French aircraft. Everyone hopes that with the improvement of equipment, the squadron can become a first-class air combat force in South Asia, but today, he saw with his own eyes witnessed that his teammates were shot down like leaves. Captain Dagger, please pay attention to the approach path point, you must lower your altitude. The tower's call pulled the captain's mind back. Captain Midas, I'm also very sad, a strange and old voice came from the ground to take over the command. We need better aircraft to fight them. There will be, everything will be there, I promise. In the ground command post, the Indian Air Force Chief of Staff Admiral Biafreda, who has been in command of the march, said. At the same time, 200 kilometers away, JF-17, which had run out of fuel, was preparing to land. He was in a hurry to communicate with the navigation station, because the navigation station did not allow him to land at this time. Fighters to the east, please note, you can't land on runway 1, there's a large passenger plane coming in. You're too close. I saw that Boeing 747, and I'll come in as soon as it touches down, but I can't do it anymore, I'm out of fuel. Fighter, please be careful, you're too close, it's too dangerous, this is the UN envoy's plane. Oh, what? Sorry, mine, there were some issues with the VHF radio that I couldn't hear clearly, so it was decided. The special plane of the United Nations Special Envoy entered the last navigation point of Bhutto International Airport on time. The co-pilot called the tower several times, and the air controller told him that the main runway could be used at any time. However, the co-pilot found that a former Grey fighter jet had been flying on his side, which made him a little puzzled. He looked back at the Grey fighter jet, and the pilot in the cockpit waved to him, and then swayed the wing. It could be seen that there was actually a missile under the wing of the fighter jet. As the Boeing jet was concentrating on lowering its landing gear, the fighter jet suddenly disappeared without a trace, and the pilot temporarily left the plane behind. However, when the passenger plane just landed smoothly and turned to the tarmac, the pilot saw the small plane again, it was dragging a blue parachute whizzing past the tail of the Boeing 747, and it kept sliding. They stopped at the end of the runway. This scene shocked the two passenger plane pilots. It was not the first time that they had come to a country at war, but they had never seen